just cannot imagine a world in which we are given this incredible cranium we all have with these neurons firing, and we don't try to squeeze every bit of information out of this life that we humanly can. Like, how sad a world if we do not try to take the things that, in my mind, God gave us and apply them to the maximum amount possible. I hate that idea. And so I think that's one reason we've been successful. And the second reason is because if you guys are creating online, there's one thing that I think is more important than anything else. Forget the Instagram reel versus the TikTok versus the hook versus the first 30 seconds. It's, do you think you're the hero? Or are the people that you're serving the heroes? Are you the Luke Skywalker? Or are the people that are watching your videos the Luke Skywalker? And I remember reading some parts of this originally from Storyteller Brand.
Donald Miller's Story Brand.
Story Brand. And when he said that to me, it hit. Because when I'm on a stage like this, I don't actually think it's about me. I think it's about how do I meet as many of yous, because the bigger ripple is not Cody gets bigger. The bigger ripple is, what do you think is easier for me to do? There's 600 people here in this room, right? Is it easier for Cody to get 600 million followers? Or would it be easier for this crowd cumulatively to get 600 million? What's easier?
The latter.
You guys, right? So how much more powerful are my ripples if what I can do is influence others to live incredible lives, to get bigger, to create greater? And I can just be like the little Yoda whispering in the ear of the heroes, which is all of you. And so, I have a book coming out this December. Sean was incredible and a very early supporter of it, which I take very seriously, so thank you. And they tried to I remember they did this mock-up. And if you've seen what books look like, and it's like a book mock-up, and I have all these photos from different things that we've shot, and so they sent me the mock-up, and it was like, Cody Sanchez, on the cover. And I was like, delete this immediately, absolutely not. This book is not about me, it is about everybody who wants to be the thing that we are talking about in this book. And I think if we all remember that, then we have audience that has real connection, as opposed to try to become a celebrity. And the only thing that happens when you try to become a celebrity is you eventually become cringe. And so that is what I want to stay away from.
In just a second, I want to learn about your Spark content formula. But I want to hang on the journalism for a second, because you won an award. You did some work that really impacted some of the atrocities with sex trafficking. Can you tell that story?
Yeah. So where I started creating content, I guess, but I never would have thought about it that way back then, was I graduated a year early from Harvard of the West, and due to the crazy curriculum I had some free time. And so I decided to partner with something called the Howard F. Buffett Foundation, which is Warren Buffett's son for print journalism. And my last name's Sanchez. I'm Latina, and I lived in Arizona at the time. That's where I was raised. And what was fascinating is we were given a grant to cover stories along the US-Mexico border with this idea of like what happens at divisions that humans create, like what happens at these divisive points. And so I've crossed the border actually illegally, like I can't even tell you the number of times, with human traffickers and individuals trying to cross the border. And this was in 2007, 8, something like that, writing stories about what it's really like down there. And what was interesting is I met this one guy whose name was Neftali Fuentes, and he had crossed the border. I'm going to mess up the number, but he was 17 or 18 years old, and he had crossed the border like over 100 times. And not like back and forth because he wanted to, like 100 times but couldn't get in, like kept getting kicked back. And I remember sitting down with him and talking about like, what is it that drives you to be here? Like, what other way could we get you here? And it was like sort of at that moment where I realized, man, if we are given probably one of the biggest gifts out there in the world, which is the ability to be a citizen of America, and we have the ability to produce at the highest level of which we are physically capable. Like, there is no real foot on your neck of progress in this country. Sometimes I think we might be trending towards that, but today, right now, there's just about nowhere better in the world if you want to produce in a capitalistic society. No better place. And so, yeah, it feels me.